Welcome to the e-classes in the Department of Anatomy. I'm Dr. Jyoti Sharma, Professor in RNK Memorial Homeopathic Medical College. Today we will learn the anatomy of lungs. Lungs or pulmons, a pair of essential organs of respiration. They lie in the corresponding halves of the thoracic cavity. They are separated from each other by mediastinum. Each lung lies in the pleural sac. They are porous, spongy, and have elastic structure. They have a certain capacity to recoil. At birth, lungs are pink in color. In the adult, they are gray in color. As age advances, they become black due to deposition of carbon particles. Their main function is to oxygenate blood by exchange of gases in the pulmonary capillaries. Now we see the external features of the lung. Each lung is half conical in shape. It has apex, base, two surfaces, and three borders. Apex is a narrow upper end. Base, broad inferior surface. Surfaces, there are two surfaces, lateral or costal, it is rounded. The medial surface consists of two parts, the anterior part which is deeply concave to accommodate heart, and the posterior part which is convex fits into the space between the lateral side of vertebral bodies and posterior parts of ribs. Now in the diagram, again we see the features. This is the apex, which is the narrow end. This is base, which is the broad surface area of the lung. This is the costal surface. This is the medial surface. Now we see the borders. As there are three borders, the anterior border, posterior border, and the inferior border. Costal and the medial surface meet anteriorly along anterior border. Anterior margin of the left lung has a deep cardiac notch. Because of this notch, the lowest part of the upper lobe of this lung has tongue-like projection called lingula. Now we see the posterior border, costal and the medial surface meet posteriorly along this border. And at the inferior border, the costal and the medial surface end below. At the inferior border, it separates the base. Again, we see the border in the diagrams. As we see, this is the anterior border of the right lung. This is totally straight. Now, the anterior border of the left lung having a cardiac notch and a projection called lingula. This anterior border separates the costal surface with the medial surface anteriorly. This is the posterior border which separates the costal surface from the medial surface posteriorly. This is the inferior border. Inferior border lies inferiorly, which separates the base from the costal and the medial surface. Now we see the features of the lungs. There are two features, the oblique fissure and the horizontal fissure. First of all, the oblique fissure. Both the right and left lung have a prominent oblique fissure. The fissure begins at the posterior border of the lung, about 6 cm below the apex, and runs downwards and forwards through the lung to the emerge on the anterior part of the base. It passes through the inferior border of the lung at the 6th costochondral junction and finally reaches the lower and anterior part of the hilum. Horizontal fissure. Right lung has an additional fissure that is a horizontal fissure. It starts at the anterior border, a little below its middle, at the level of 4th costal cartilage and passes backwards through the lungs to meet the oblique fissure. We see the oblique fissure and the horizontal fissure in the medial surface of the lung. This is the oblique fissure, which goes from the anterior surface, inferior border, base, and ends here below and anteriorly at the hilum. This is the horizontal fissure, which ends anteriorly to the hilum. This is the left lung having only one fissure, which is the oblique fissure. Again, we see the diagrams of fissures. This is the horizontal fissure. This is oblique fissure. This is the oblique fissure of the left lung. Left lung does not have any horizontal fissure. The fissure is shown at the medial surface of the left lung and the right lung. Now the lobes of lungs we see. Each fissure divides the lung into lobes. In the right lung, as we had seen, there are two fissures which divide the lung into three lobes, superior, middle and inferior lobes. In this lung, the inferior lobe is same as the left lung. Because of horizontal fissure, the part of the right lung in front of and above the oblique fissure is subdivided into part above the horizontal fissure is the superior lobe and part below the fissure is the middle lobe. Now the left lung, it has two lobes, the superior lobe and the inferior lobe. Superior lobe is a part above and in front of the oblique fissure, and inferior lobe is a part below and behind the oblique fissure. As we had seen already, lingula, because of cardiac notch at the anterior border of the left lung, lowest part of the superior lobe has a tongue-like projection, which is called lingula. Lingula is a Latin terminology which means small tongue. It projects below the cardiac notch. It moves into and out of the costomediastinal recess during inspiration and expiration. Again, we see the lobes as we had seen. The fissures, this is the horizontal fissure, this is the oblique fissure. The oblique fissure of the left lung divides the left lung into two lobes, the inferior lobe and the superior lobe. And the horizontal fissure and the oblique fissure divides the right lung into two lobes, the superior, middle, and inferior lobe. Here also the superior, middle, and the inferior lobe. The superior lobe of the left lung and the inferior lobe of the left lung. Now we see the features in detail. First of all, the apex. The apex of lung is rounded. Apex of each lung appears to lie in the lower part of neck, that is called as the root of neck. It is also because the inlet of thorax placed obliquely. As a result, the apex of lung lies about 1 inch, 2.5 centimeter, above the medial part of clavicle. It is covered by cervical pleura and suprapleural membrane. Now we see the relations of the lungs. There are four types of relation in the apex of the lung, that is anterior, posterior, lateral, and medial. Anterior relations are same in right and left lungs. They are arteries, vein, and muscle. In the arteries, we see subclavian artery and the origin of internal thoracic arteries. In the vein, we see subclavian vein and the muscle, scalenus muscle. Now we see the posterior relations. The posterior relations are also same in right and left apex of lung. Neck of the first rib and structures that intervene between the rib and the lung, they are sympathetic trunk, first posterior intercostal vein, superior intercostal artery, ascending branch of the ventral ramus of the first thoracic nerve. Now we see the lateral relations, they are also same in the right and left, scalenus medius muscle and lower trunk of the brachial plexus. Lastly, we see the medial relations which are different in right and left lung. In the right side, we see the brachiocephalic vein, brachiocephalic trunk, trachea, and vagus nerve. And in the left side, we see brachiocephalic vein, left subclavian artery, left edge of esophagus, and thoracic duct. Now we see the base. It is the diaphragmatic surface. It is concave inferior surface of the lung, semilunar in shape. On both sides, the base of lung is related to corresponding part of the diaphragm separated by pleural sac. Concavity of this surface is deeper on right side due to higher positions of right dome of the diaphragm. The base is mainly formed by the inferior lobe. Its anterior most part is formed by superior lobe in the left lung and by the middle lobe in the right lung. Now we see the relations of the base. The relations which are same in right and left are the pulmonary pleura, diaphragmatic pleura, diaphragm, peritoneum. And the relations which are different in both sides are the right lobe of liver in the right side, left lobe of liver in left side, stomach and spleen in the left side. Now we come to the costal surfaces. It is a convex surface bounded anteriorly by the tip of apex, below the inferior border, anteriorly anterior border, posteriorly posterior border. It's round to confirm the shape of ribs. It is covered by pulmonary and costal pleura and is related to lateral thoracic wall separated by costal pleura and endothoracic fascia, upper 6 ribs in the mid-clavicular line, upper 8 ribs in the mid-axillary line, and upper 10 ribs in the scapular line. This is all seen in this diagram also. The costal surface bounded superiorly by the apex, inferiorly by the inferior border, anteriorly by the anterior border, posteriorly by the posterior border. It is related in the middle. This is the mid-clavicular line by the 6 ribs. In the mid-axillary line, it is related to 8 ribs, and posteriorly in the mid-scapular line, it is related to 10 ribs. The medial surface we are seeing now, it faces internally and is bounded by tip of apex, below inferior border, anteriorly anterior border, posteriorly posterior border. As we had seen earlier also, the medial surface is divided into two parts. The posterior part is the vertebral part and the anterior part is the mediastinal part. Vertebral part is flat and is related to the bodies of intervertebral disc of the upper 10 thoracic vertebra, posterior intercostal vessels, sympathetic trunks, greater and the lesser splanchnic nerves. And the medial surface is related to mediastinum. It is divided above by the tip of apex, base of lung, anteriorly anterior border, and posteriorly ridge behind the groove for the esophagus on the right lung and groove for the descending thoracic aorta on the left lung. The surface is marked by oblique fissure above and below, and the hilum in both lungs and horizontal fissure anterior to hilum in the right lung. Again, we see the medial surface in the diagram. As we had seen, this is the ridge which divides, this is the vertebral part and this is the mediastinal part. This is the vertebral part and this is the mediastinal part. The vertebral part is related to the vertebral bodies, intervertebral disc, and the sympathetic trunk, lesser and greater splanchnic nerves, and this is the mediastinal surface having the apex, the inferior border, anterior border, and this is the ridge which divides the mediastinal and vertebral surfaces. This is the ridge for the esophagus in the right lung, and this is the ridge for the aorta, which is the descending thoracic aorta in the left lung. Now we see the hilum of the lung. In the mediastinal surface, it is an important feature. It's a hilum. It's a door. On this surface, as all structures which enter or exit the lung go through the hilum, it is not covered with pleura. This part from where all the structures enter or exit from the lung is a hilum. Now, root of lung we are seeing here. The lungs are attached to the mediastinum by their roots. The root of each lung is enclosed in the pleural sleeve called mesopneumonium. The sleeve is formed by the reflection of visceral pleura onto the parietal pleura. Now we see in the diagram, this is the root of lung. This part is the root of lung. And this part which is hanging down is pulmonary ligament, which we will see later on. In the diagram, I am showing this. Now we see what is the difference between the root and hilum of the lung. First of all, we will see the definition. The root of lung, a sleeve of pleura connecting the medial surface of lung with mediastinum, containing structures that enter and leave the lung. Hilum of lung is an area on the mediastinum surface of lung through which structure enter and leaves the lung. It is the site of entrance and exit of the structure. Now the contents of structure that are same in both sides are bronchus, arteries, veins, lymphatic, and the pulmonary nerve plexuses. Bronchus, principal bronchus in the left side, eparterial and hyparterial bronchi in the right side, pulmonary artery, bronchial artery, pulmonary veins. There are two pulmonary veins and bronchial veins. The lymphatics and the pulmonary nerve plexuses, which are anterior and posterior. Now we see the arrangement of the structures as we had seen in the diagram. Diagram of root of lung. As we had seen in the diagram of lung, there are two types of bronchus here. This is the eparterial. This is eparterial. in the right lung. And in the left lung, there is only one bronchus. We have to see all the structures arranged from above downwards and before backwards. From above downwards differs on right and left side or eparterial bronchus only while others are same. Eparterial bronchus, right side only, pulmonary artery, principal bronchus, inferior pulmonary vein. And from above downwards, we see superior pulmonary vein, pulmonary artery, and eparterial bronchus. Now the pulmonary ligament, inferior to the root of lung, the pleural sleeve hangs loose for some distance and extends between the lung and the mediastinum. This part which hangs down is called pulmonary ligament. It consists of a double layer of pleura with little amount of connective tissue in between. It provides potential space for expansion when pulmonary veins engorge with blood. Now we see the borders, as we have already seen the borders of the lungs. There are anterior border, posterior border, and the inferior border. Anterior border is thin, sharp border present between anterior thoracic wall and the pericardium. It separates the anterior margins of the costal and the medial surfaces. Anterior border of right lung is straight from apex to base, but at the level of fourth costal cartilage, the anterior border of left lung deviates for accommodation of heart, which is seen as a cardiac notch. In the right lung, the anterior border is interrupted by horizontal fissure, few centimeters from its lower end. Now we see the posterior border, it is thick and rounded. It occupies the paravertebral gutter. It separates the posterior margins of the costal and the medial surface. It is related to heads of upper 10 ribs, sympathetic trunk, and both of the splanchnic nerves. Inferior border is the circumscribed border, which separates the base of lung from the costal and the medial surfaces, and the part of the inferior border, which separates the base from the costal surface, it is sharp. And part of the inferior surface that separates the medial surface from the base is rounded. Now again, we see in the diagram, where is the sharp border and where is the rounded border. This is the inferior border which separates the medial surface from the base. This is the rounded border. And this is the border which separates the costal surface from the base is the sharp border. And this inferior border is the circumscribed border, where we had seen the anterior and the posterior borders. Last difference. Lastly, we see the difference between the right and left lung. The right lung is shorter because the right cupola of diaphragm is higher than the left. It is wider as the heart projects more to the left side. It is more capacious, while the left lung is longer, narrower, and less capacious. The right lung is heavier. It is 700 grams. The left lung is lighter. It is 625 grams in weight. 3 lobes separated by 2 fissures in the right lung and 2 lobes separated by 1 fissure. Base is more concave in the right lung, while the base is shallower in the left lung. Anterior border is straight, while the anterior border of left lung is indented, presence of cardiac notch. Arrangement of structure at the hilum from above downwards is bronchus artery, bronchus vein. Arrangement of structure at the hilum from above downwards are artery, bronchus, and vein. Now, shallow cardiac impression is present in the right lung, while the deep cardiac impression is present in the left lung. Presence of lingula in the left lung, absence of lingula in the right lung. Supplied usually by 1 bronchial artery, and the left lung is supplied by 2 bronchial arteries. In the right lung, we see the impressions for the veins. In the left lung, there are impressions of arteries, and both have different bronchopulmonary segment and different branching patterns. Thanking you.